Hello and welcome to Top of the World. Today we are on top of the world. I decided to come for a walk. So this machine has been running 24 hours a day now for over a week. And I figured that if it was going where I thought it was going, it would make a track sufficiently large enough and deep enough to be able to trek it and get to places you just can't normally get. Certainly not in the winter anyway. And so I've arrived on the other side of the valley, which I've worked so often, where I've never been before, on the very far boundary of the land of which I work, which you could walk in the summer. What that's done is that's put me right in the heart of bear territory. So I've only ever seen a bear 3 times here, and all 3 times he was here. So with all that noise going on and the warm temperatures we've got, and I'll show you how slushy it is in a minute, I've got bear feed running around, so that's quite cool. Anyway, let me show you the far side of the valley. Bear food. Yeah. So this is the far side. This is where we normally enter into the valley. Over here. This is the far side. This is the small piece of woodland here that I can never get to. We've got fighter jets now. Where is it? It's down in the valley, blowing my windows out. So this is, yeah, I've never seen this area from this view before. You can see the, just, you know, to be honest, I thought, and it's easy for me to criticise, criticism's the easiest thing in the world. I just would have thought a bit more care would have been taken. I decided not to film down there, as it was quite evident from some of the comments. Some of my viewers got really upset by what I showed the first time, and I could do without all the tears. So, but you know, we're on the boundary here. And that was the point of today's walk, really, is because I can get places I can't get. Well, I shouldn't need to check the SCA and the boundaries. You know, they should be all too aware, but anyway, it's just nice to have a look. But I was a bit unprepared for the level of destruction on the way here. Anyway, so this track goes up, and they're cutting on the far side of the mountain, right over on the other side. I'm not quite sure why they come this way. I don't believe they're going to be, maybe they are bringing the logs back this way. Maybe this is the nearest point. There's nothing that way. I mean, there's nothing at all. So maybe cutting this route was the easiest way. Anyway, I don't know how far to follow this trail of destruction. Only because the further I get, yeah, I'm just not interested in meeting a moose or a bear when you don't. Oh, geez. Do you know, that's quite impressive, really. I don't know how you want to look at it. Just, he must be on a GPS boundary. He's doing his job, but I notice how close he is. Yeah, I'm talking about you. He's in very unfamiliar territory. Very unfamiliar territory. Alright, well, let's take a walk up there, see what we see. Well, that's a shame. I ain't got a drone. I suppose that is, I am the drone. This is the back side of the plot where I need to get to. Now, 2 winters ago I managed to get a trail in here and round there, but not so easy. Yeah, I would have, and this is where I don't want to criticise, but I would have expected I suppose it's quite neat, really. He did do quite a good job at filling in the creek. See how it sounds like that might be coming off the mountain. He's done quite a good job there. So these are the SCA tags that the driver followed, and he's pretty much on cue. You know that? Put his tracks either side of the marker. This is the bit that I just find this bit unnecessary. Anyhow, that's a personal thing. Yeah, that is a personal thing. I'm not quite sure why that one had to come out. It's not right, there wasn't plenty of room here. Anyway. Right. So this area here has been flattened down so much, I've got to argue that that's potentially crossable now. Yeah, I think I could make that work. Up! Hoo! Sometimes he don't pay attention, and that's when he gets into trouble. Come, come! There's no point in having bear food running around if the bear food runs off without the bear in tow, right? Okay, so up there, that's where we've just come from. On this lower ridge. So when I said bear territory, this is where I've most commonly seen the bear. There and down the bottom here. So if he's awake. So this is kind of where I got to. I don't think I've been down there and shown you this before they did that. So I kind of laid the trails in there in another video, took down the first 2 tags on this trail, and that's when they blazed through and smashed that open. So, you know, in an ideal world, I'd like to come back and get these before the snow melts. And this is this giant moose again. I'm looking at myself. This is this giant moose again. She's been round, or he's been round, on my tracks for the tops. Look at that. That is not a small moose. You know, these things, yeah, we could just do with pulling that out, really. Yeah, so that's the main one I was after. And we never got to any of these others because we can't get down there. But maybe now, maybe I can. Yeah, see now we have this one. That far one over there, that's a deadwood, that's firewood. This one here, look at that. You can see all the young growth up on this hill now. So it's taken 5 years, 6 years for it to get like this, at this stage. So you can see the edge of some of the young ones are planted, but that's all planted over there. So in another 5 or 6 years, this area here where I planted up should look like this. And then once it gets to this stage, it's away then. And that's why, personally, I don't like to take down all of the young ones inside here, because when you're taking down the odd large one, I mean this plot here, it's never going to get clear cut. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it will never get clear cut. And therefore, when we take out this one here, we'll leave both of those for a moment to see which one's going to come up strongest. So we've got young fir here, young birch here. Everything will start to fill in the spot. So that's him working. It's when he's at his most valuable, when I'm at my most vulnerable from carnivores or moose. So here we are at the back end of the stand in the valley now. The wind is blowing, I don't know, 6 or 7 meters a second, and it's reasonably well protected. But something that occurred to me with the tag trees I've got to take down is not to open up a tunnel. Because a stand like this is open on 3 sides. This particular stand of trees is open on 3 sides. And, sorry, watching him smelling the air. Anyway, I've come up the back side and I've noticed that there's a few, that one there, it doesn't even have a top on it. And there's a dead one over there, and there's a small one, dead one there. I've got to take the dead one. This is what attracts the bark beetle, and you need to get it out. But it's quite dense at this end of the stand. You can hear that. I don't know if you can hear it over the wind. The big machine must be coming up and over the top of the mountain. We know a song about that, don't we? Ellie. Where's Ellie? Where's Ellie? That might have even been this morning. Oh, it's cool. He's on the track. That noise, that hydraulic drone, is all I've been hearing. all the way through the night, because there's no sound there. There's nothing there. That's all you manage to hear. It's picking up timber on the way. Mate. So that's our nice early morning walk kind of done, really. We've had a look to see if it's possible, if we can get back down here. Yeah, it's definitely possible. Are we running out of time? We're absolutely running out of time. Did I think I was going to be able to get back down there? No. I'll tell you how I know we're running out of time. See the snow going around from the base of the trees? These are going to start drawing sap soon. This is the heat given off from the trees, the darkness of the trees. So you can see the snow level has decreased considerably. And that's why it's important to get your trails in and pack, you know, just a few weeks ago the snow either side of the track was 1 metre higher, and now we're probably down to 0.5 metre. It was 3 feet higher, we're down to 1.5 feet, I guess, either side of the trail. So I noticed he was only picking up the fir and not the spruce, which is interesting and fascinating. Yeah, the spruce is still on the floor there. He's just taking the fir, and that's what he'll be after, of course. The spruce will be a secondary. The birch, I should imagine the landowner will take. It might go for pulp. It just depends on who owns the land that's being cut. There's one other thing. That's water, obviously. So we're on a melt. We're a long way away from being clear. My logging trail here, it'll be here for weeks. But yeah, you can see the snow moving away from the base of the trees. So things are going to become urgent. There's no sign of life in any of the trees yet. Now we're quite high here, and the reason we're quite high here is because when the Land Cruiser comes through, she rides underneath these overhanging branches, and we're probably still best part of 3 feet up here on the trail itself. I don't see any evidence here of the small trees that I transplanted there. I don't know whether they didn't take. I thinned these ones out because obviously there's a bare patch there, so I kind of left those, but I did the same on this side, and I don't know if they didn't make it, or a moose pulled them out at the beginning of the winter, or whether they've been crushed under the snow. This little area here, I need to get in and cut some of that out. Well, I think that'll do us. Well, I think I'll wrap the video up there. Thanks for joining me on my walk this morning. A few interesting sights I've not seen before, places that I can get now that I've not been able to get before. But I think now I can run a trail back across that route. If they're starting to pull timber out, then they'll be down to the bottom of what was the old snowpack. So maybe I can get down there and get them under tag trees. I didn't know you was all watching me. Well, I might as well show you what I'm up to now then, hadn't I? So I've just turned out a finial, and I want a finial for the front of the keystone on the project for those that are keeping up with the Gothic arches. So I'm still messing around with this. Oh, sneak preview. I've done something really bad. You know the box with the smile on it, whose name I can't, anyway, I didn't want to. The more I thought about this whole palm router and how I'm going to struggle. So I'm a Bosch man, really. I used to be an Hitachi man, but then they went a bit... Anyway, my tool of choice is a Milwaukee, but that aside... We found a Makita. I found a Makita and some cutters at a quarter of the price of a Bosch, delivered. If I used the smiley face. Palm router. Tooling. Now I already had some tooling, but I've got some more tooling and I've got a palm router. Anyway, right, so where was I? So in keeping with what I'm doing, I kind of made a keystone out of a bit of paper that's going to sit in the top of the arch like that, and then I kind of roughed one out of a bit of hardwood like that. That's going to be the keystone. It's not a stone, but it's going to be the key, and then the finial's going to go across the top of that. So that's kind of what I was doing in there. And I've just got to sand it down and make it look nice, and then take the ends off. I'm going to have a blunt end below the arch and a pointy end above the arch, and then I'll cut this into where I want the arch to sit. So anyway, that's what I was doing. Thanks for joining me on this this short walk this morning. We'll go back and find something more useful to do. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.